What?
That
Muted
was just-
again. How did it go mute
Oh,
as
he
soon as he
muted.
pressed record?
All right, should we restart that?
I guess if we can just go from the top. I guess we can edit it out. But
Yeah, I don't know why
I
that
know.
happened. I don't know why that happened. All right, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, folks, we got another episode of the 214 Sports Show, episode 34. It should be April 11th, April 12th, whenever we upload this. I'm here with Courtney Machani, Joseph Duffy, the usual host for the 214 Sports Show, Everything Dallas Sports, right here every 9 a.m. on Thursdays. We had this week for Dallas Sports. Pretty interesting, I guess. Pretty fun week for Dallas sports, especially on the Mavericks side and the Stars side for that point too. Both had some pretty good victories, especially on Sunday for those two squads. The Rangers, they're kind of showing the true colors. The bullpen's already kind of showing the true colors of their struggles. But anyways, we'll get more into the Rangers and, of course, the Mavs and Stars later into this episode. Just want to ask real quick, how are y'all doing?
I'm doing swell. It's been an interesting weekend. Just faced a few storms last night, but we're still here. So I'm glad we can finally have another podcast episode.
Yeah, we did have some crazy storms. I know Dallas had some too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the eclipse too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the eclipse was fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm here to, finish my story, man. I'm just here to
Finish my story.
record this pod, man. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm hyped.
I'm just up thinking. I'm just up late thinking about life. What's my purpose while I'm here? Isn't that the LeBron caption?
He has a good hashtag on there too. I'm trying to remember. Oh my god!
The kid from Akron is the one that he would always do. I know that's his favorite hashtag.
Love that one.
From Akron. Just love
kid from Akron. We're gonna go to on today's date. This one is a massive throwback. April 11th, 1995. The Mavs beat the Houston Rockets 156-147 in double overtime. The Mavericks, and obviously that kind of looks a lot like the final score from Sunday from the Mavs and Rockets. The Mavs wouldn't make the playoffs. I think this made them 34-41, but they did beat the team that will win the finals later that year. Jason Kidd had a 38-point triple-double. Rare back then for the Mavericks. We didn't have 38-point triple-doubles every other game. And Jamal Mashburn also scored 42 that game. The Rockets' leading scorers were between Kenny Smith and Clyde Drexler, who both had 29 apiece that game. So
that's crazy.
Okay, Kenny Smith.
Crazy. That's what I was about to say. I know Kenny. I was unfamiliar with his game.
He was a decent player back then. Decent role player.
They make him seem like a dumb bum. That's the funny part.
It was his rookie campaign when he won the co-rookie of the year with Grant Hill.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, anyways, today's trivia for today is going to be about Jamal Mashburn. Let's see how much y'all know about y'all's 90s Mavs. All right. I want to ask real quick, just, I feel like this might be some common ball knowledge. I don't know. All right. We'll see. Is Jamal Mashburn, well, he went to college, obviously. What college did Jamal Mashburn go to? And it's not like a random college. All right.
It's a blue blood?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, man.
They were in the tournament this year.
I think I got it. I'm just gonna speed it up.
They were a high seed in the tournament this year.
Can I say it?
Probably wants to say, yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with UNC. I'm gonna go with North Carolina. I think he went
North Carolina. Okay.
Could be wrong.
Part of me wants to say UConn. That's the first thing that popped in my head.
UConn.
UConn.
I know UConn. So what? Now they've had 6 national championships in like the last 20 years or something like that. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Already past Duke.
Is UConn even considered a blue blood?
They're about to be.
I wouldn't even consider UConn a blue blood in men's basketball.
UCLA, Duke.
They gotta be now.
UConn,
6 is crazy.
Now,
Kentucky. Yeah, they're not. So I'm gonna go Duke then. I'm gonna go Duke.
Duke.
Yeah.
Damn. Both so close. Close. It's not Not Duke or UNC. It is the University of
Kansas.
Kentucky.
Oh,
Kentucky.
We don't know ball.
He went to Kentucky.
we don't know ball.
Yeah, I don't know who exactly was on that Kentucky squad in the early '90s. I can't remember. I know that that was the team that lost to Christian Laettner, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. So I don't know. I'm not too good with college basketball knowledge, but I do know kind of that part of the history for that sport. But anyways, yeah, Jamal Mashburn, he went to Kentucky. Very big alumni system over there. Jamal Mashburn, I think he had like, I don't know too much about him though. I'm gonna be honest. Didn't he have like gambling problems or something?
I could not tell you, dude. I mean, I know the
I don't
name.
know. He was a hooper for like
might be
8 or
too
so
old for me,
years.
bro. Yeah. I mean,
He would score like 25 points a game.
He was a great player, very underrated, in NBA
okay.
history.
Let's get this Pirtle going. So, as we always do, we're going to play a quick game of Pirtle, the Wordle version of NBA basketball. Going to try to guess the player for today.
We will be starting with Jaden Hardy.
Jaden Hardy.
Jaden Hardy.
Dude, there's been no Hardy party recently.
He's been enjoying himself on that bench, though.
He has.
West.
All right. Guard in the West. Under 6'4". I'm going to go with like D'Angelo Russell.
That's a good one.
Solid pick. There it is. Oh my
okay,
Lord.
so
Damn,
it's somebody who's old, not in the Pacific.
Northwest.
I want to say like Mike Conley. Short point guard, old.
Jazz, yeah.
Mike Conley would work. Different
That could work.
different division.
Yeah, because I don't think it's anyone on the Thunder. It could be someone on the Nuggets, possibly.
Blazers? Nobody that old on the Blazers, right?
No.
It's got
No,
to
it's
be. It's
not
got
going
to
to be that
It's
old.
got to be Conley. I think it's Conley.
Yeah, I think it's Mike Conley. There we go. 3. We got a 3 today.
3.
We do know though.
Good stuff.
We redeemed ourselves.
Huge. We didn't even need the silhouette. That's crazy. We haven't done that well in Pirtle in a minute.
We need to
mess with that. All right. Anyways, let's see. Let's move on. Let's go to the Mavericks talk. Let's start off with the Dallas Mavericks. So right now, we're not going to know the result of the Miami Heat game, but we do know the result of the Charlotte Hornets game, and damn, that was a good game. 130 points to 104 points. I don't have the box score on me, but if I do remember correctly, Luka Doncic had a 39-point triple-double. Kyrie Irving scored about like 19, I believe. Daniel Gafford was the big player of the game for the Mavericks, going 12 for 12 with 26 points just in 25 minutes, too. So pretty crazy. Bench production wasn't too bad either this game. Maxi Kleber had 10 points. Come on. Any reaction there? Come on. Just straight faces for Maxi.
10 points. He had 10 points.
Whoa.
Nice job, Maxi. We will continue to hate.
No love for the Cleves.
Yeah.
And then, Harden, I believe, scored 15. Which is good for him now.
Good for morale.
And Exum had a good game. I don't think he scored many points, but he did have some good.
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, hey.
What a call.
Gotta love it, man. You know what? Let's talk about that first real quick. Let's talk about the buzzer beater against the Rockets on Sunday with Dante Exum. I just want to say, were y'all watching that game?
Of course. This was such a nerdy take,
Wait,
bro.
It was on Sunday?
Yeah, it was on Sunday.
I was not watching. But go ahead.
I was watching both, unlike a certain person I know. He was on the grill. He was on the grill cooking, watching WrestleMania. But it's kind of a nerdy take. But this season feels more like Dune Part 2. While last season felt like Dune. Everything is leading up into this Dune Part 2 right here. You saw last season how we couldn't knock any of those shots down in the clutch last season. So many heartbreaking losses to mediocre teams, also to great teams. And now you have a guy like Dante Exum coming out of nowhere after, researching to find his identity playing in Europe or playing back in his homeland in Australia, trying to come back and make his name back in the NBA. And it's like a dream come true. Everybody's more clutch. Kyrie's making clutch shots. Luka's making clutch shots again after kind of having less clutch shots last year. But this team overall has a really nice clutch streak. It's so nice to see it against such solid teams as well, and not just poor teams. And I know the Rockets were rolling for a long time, but they were kind of rocky heading into this game. And so seeing Dante Exum have that big clutch shot, I mean, it's huge. And you saw that arena just completely erupt. It felt like the roof was about to fall off the place. But just awesome to see this team finally find a clutch shot again for the first time in about 2 years. And seeing how, last year, it makes it all worth it, in essence, is what I'm saying.
Especially Dante Exum. I mean, I feel like every clutch shot he has, he's always hitting them. Like, I think he has like over 8% three in clutch situations. My brother was actually at that game. So there was some Machani blood at the game. So technically I was watching. And yeah, he said it was a great experience. And I'm excited. I'm happy for Dante Exum. I mean, from even 2K15 to where he is now, to see his progression, to see that he actually has a redemption story, a redemption arc, and that he actually has a place in the spot on the NBA roster. At first I was kind of mad at our NBA roster, but I feel like from the gate he came out swinging. I'm happy to see him get his moment.
Dante finishing his story.
Yeah, I mean he's a 50% 3-point shooter this year. He's been extremely clutch in those clutch situations. That 2K15 was it 2K15 or 2K14 that he had like those dialogue moments.
I'm flipping. It might be 14. No, I think I think it's 15.
Makes more sense. I don't remember
14 was.
It was the 14 storyline was like Dion Waiters.
Yeah,
it was like when
I think it's 15. I think it's 15. God, I missed that. I used to be so into 2K back then.
But not to also mention, I mean, this is what Dante Exum did. He completely transformed his game to get back into the league. He became a reliable knockdown shooter. Not to mention, I mean, he got cut by the Rockets just a couple years ago. I think like 3-4 years ago, he was cut by the Rockets before he went overseas. Came back with the Mavericks. Put a little exclamation point on the Rockets right there. With that game tying three, and also helping them in the 5 minutes of overtime. Also playing good in that overtime. Gotta love Dante Exum. Huge X factor. I would love to see him play more minutes than Tim Hardaway Jr. at some point. I think that's something that should be done. Maybe I think he's contributing to the team a lot more. Unfortunately, I love THJ, all right? Not trying to spread hate or anything. Love him, all right? He's just a little inconsistent right now. And I think Dante Exum, he deserves, at least 25 minutes a game right now. He's playing great. He's playing well with the team. He's been playing well with our superstars, with Kyrie and Luka. They've been having some great chemistry. Obviously, Luka's got to trust him to make that shot against Houston, and he did. So, I mean, they love him over there in Dallas, and they got to, I think he's got to get some more playing time.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyways, y'all got any more comments about Dante Exum?
No more. I'm good.
He cool, but, I'm ready to talk about the stars. Give me
you ready to talk about the stars?
Kyrie. Yeah, give me Luka, give me Kyrie, give me Gafford. Give me them. I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little bit about. I wanted to talk a little bit about Gafford. His 12 for 12. I want to talk actually about the center rotation a little bit, just because we're heading into the playoffs. By the next time we have an episode, we probably will have our playoff opponent. Well, we will. We'll know when they play. It's probably going to be the Clippers. Very, very likely, 99% chance that it is the Clippers now. We'll talk a little bit about the Clippers next week. Let's just talk about a rotation, I guess, comparing to the Clippers. Because, you're looking at our center rotation. We got Gafford and we got Kleber right now. We don't know when Derek Lively's going to be back. And then you look at the Clippers and they have people like Zubac. Zubac is still on that team. He's still playing a little bit. I forget. Do y'all know who their starting center is? Is it still Zubac?
It should be Zubac.
It's Zubac.
Yeah. It should be.
That's what I thought it was. So I mean,
they went to a smaller rotation.
We always had a little Daniel Tice, Mason Plumlee.
No, Tice ain't playing like that.
Yeah.
Can we just say what the Clippers did to the Suns last night?
Hey, the
Suns came back. The Suns came back, but I mean, dang.
Let's call that out real quick. I know 37-10 at the end of the first quarter. That was after the Mavericks.
It's 35-4 at one point.
I
thought that was a glitch on my phone.
Crazy, bro. I thought
crazy, so man. No, they didn't even get the 10 points in the quarter till Bradley Beal made like 2 free throws with like 2 seconds left. I mean, absolutely insane, dog. So the Clippers, after kind of having a short kind of time where they were struggling a little bit, I believe they lost like 3 or 4 games in a row at one point. Now they're starting to pick it up. But I do want to focus on that center rotation because, again, I think a lot of the problems why the Mavericks could not go far in the playoffs or because they stalled out against the Warriors in 2022 is because of our center rotation. We made Kevin Looney look like an all-star in 2022 in our Western Conference Finals, and we've made Zubac look pretty freaking good on the offensive side, not the defensive side. We've cooked them defensively in those 2 playoff series. But, I mean, now you got Gafford on our side. All right, now you got a competent center who can get rebounds and fight for the boards and stuff. I mean, how confident are you going into this playoff series with Gafford and Kleba as the rotation right now?
I joke around about facing the Clippers because they broke my heart now. I mean, so many times it feels like. So I hate going against Kawhi Leonard, but you had a great point talking about how, I mean, we were just getting exploited so easily because we just didn't have competent center play. And so when you got, our centers making Zubac look like prime Shaq out there, I mean, every time we played against him these past 3-4 years, he was looking like a Hall of Famer because we have nobody big enough or strong enough to play low post defense. I mean, it's just good that we now have a guy in Daniel Gafford who can pound the glass, who can also, hold his own, as we saw just in this Hornets game, dropping 26 points. When you have that, it does make me more confident now. Even though they do still have a lot of star power, I really think this team can hold their own now. They've shown over these past 2 months that they know how to beat good teams. They can move the ball much more efficiently, even though they still have a few elements of ISO ball. But I think that Zubac's game is going to be more limited against our strong center play in Lively and Gafford. And I think that we're really more suited or best suited against them now more than we ever have been these past 2 playoff runs.
Yeah, to echo on that, I think this is definitely the best Mavericks team that the Clippers have faced out of all these playoff runs. I mean, we're definitely riding hot. It actually reminds me, I don't know if y'all remember, I think like a month, two months ago maybe, Joe, when we talked about Jason Kidd, Joe said that he has to win 80% of the games for him to feel safe. Something like that. It's 8%. It's something like that. They have won 14-16. I don't know what he cooked there, but I think he had a good take. I mean, it's shocking. It's crazy, but it just shows that.
Hold out the stats for the past podcast.
Hey, man.
Just go.
You ate so much you just remember somehow. But, I think it just shows that all the adjustments that he made, and especially specifically in the defense, in the post, in the paint, I think we want Gafford, even though Gafford has the best shooting percentage in the league, and he went 13, which is crazy, and we know he can do offensively, take smart shots. I really want to see what they can do defensively because, like you said, we have made Zubac look like a prime, whoever his highest comp is. I don't know what his highest comp is, but we've made him look like that. So I definitely want to see what we can do on the defensive side of the ball. I think we're better suited than we ever been.
Yeah, if anyone wants to, I highly encourage, if anyone is still a little nervous about facing the Clippers, highly encourage. Go look at that Game 7, I believe in, 2021? Yep. The year after the bubble, when we went to Game 7 with LA. Look at the box score for the Mavericks, all right? And tell me that this team is not better.
Good God.
And honestly, tell me that the Clippers didn't get worse. I think, in my opinion, and I don't want to sound like this, like I'm cocky or I'm trying to make the Mavericks sound like they're better than Clippers. I think this is a very, very even matchup. I think this could go either way completely. But I will say this. I do think that the Clippers roster from a couple years ago is still better than this roster. I don't know how much you can really, I'm hoping eventually, all right, Westbrook and Harden, they eventually get their playoff success, but not against the Mavericks this year. And I think that lack of playoff success versus what Luka does in the playoffs, again, people love to compare Luka and James Harden together, but I think the main difference between these two is how they play in the playoffs. Luka elevates his squad in the playoffs. James Harden has failed to do that many times, many times. And I think that's the difference between the two. And I think that was shown in the playoffs. But anyways, we're getting a little off track. We're going to try and talk about the center rotation. Yeah, we had Boban Marjanovic starting in Game 7.
31 minutes, by the way.
31 minutes by Boban. Yep.
Jesus, man.
Yep.
I forgot about
Jason Kidd wouldn't even dare to play Daniel Gafford 31 minutes in a game. Wouldn't even dare. He's not a 25-minute limit. All right. But, I mean, yeah, I do think that this team does match up well. I did think that the center case is our advantage for the first time in maybe ever since 2011 in a playoff series. We've had an advantage at the center position. This is probably it. So, I mean, I'm really excited for the playoffs. I think there's a good reason to be very excited about the playoffs for this team.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about the Mavericks? I kind of yapped there for a little bit.
No, I'm hype.
No, we good. I feel like we'll get more definite once that playoff season series starts.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting. I want to see. I want to see who's like the first top 3 seed to fall. I feel like a lot of people aren't taking the top 3 seeds that serious in the West, especially OKC and Minnesota. I think Minnesota's legit, but
I think Minnesota, especially in I think it's gonna be OKC. It's gonna be Shea's not gonna score his 31 points one game, and everything's gonna fall apart. Just waiting for it. I'm excited.
I think OKC is the weakest out of the top 3. I do think that too. If they could get that first seed, we beat LA in the first round. Oh, I'd love to play OKC in the second round. Would love it.
Give me them.
But I don't know. I don't want to say that and watch us get swept, but we want to get swept by the OKC. Let's be real. I'm pretty confident about that. Anyways, let's move on to the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars also making the playoffs. Also, they clinched last week, and they've also still had some very good wins this week. Just beat the Buffalo Sabres 3-2. Of course, the amazing victory finally being Colorado and Denver 7-4 on Sunday. I mean, I really just love how this team has been performing, obviously. I think the goal scoring has been insane. This team is outshooting the other team every single game. I don't think they've gone outshot in at least a couple weeks. But I do want to say that first line is starting to gel a little bit. We're starting to pick up on our power play. I believe it was Robertson and Pavelski who both scored against Buffalo. I was about to say Hintz, but Hintz, who had kind of a dry spell in the month of March and February, has picked it up. He had 2 goals in his last 3 games. He had a goal against Colorado, and he also had a goal in the game before that, I believe. Yeah, Chicago. Unfortunately, we did lose that game. We're not going to talk about the Chicago game. That was actually, real quick, let me just say this real quick. All right, the Stars dominated that game. All right, very well dominated that game. That was just like every other Stars-Blackhawks game where the Stars just dominated. 99 out of 100 times, the Stars are winning that game. That was very unfortunate. They dominated that game. They're on their side of the ice the entire game. They outshot them by at least 30 shots, I believe. It's insane how they lost that game. But I mean, I just love how the first line is starting to pick it up. Because, I mean, you're looking at this team right now, and you're looking at the stats. Maybe you look at the goals and the assists and all that, and you're kind of looking, and it's like, you almost can't distinguish the first line from the second line and the third line from the statistics wise, and that is because we are a very we have great depth, but the first line has had some dry spells in this season, so I'm glad to see them start to pick it up right now, especially with I believe actually, no, we don't have any major injuries right now, other than Donov. I always forget about the Donov, but other than that, I mean, it's been a very, very good week for this first line. Very, just love the momentum. Sorry, I'm pausing a lot. Just love the momentum that they're bringing to the playoffs because they're probably going to play. They're most likely going to play Vegas or Los Angeles, the Kings. Because they are about to clinch the Central Division. I believe their magic number is at 1 right now, which means they'll play a wild card team in the first round. Going to be the Kings or the Knights. Maybe the Blues. Who knows? But yeah, that's I kind of said what I want to say about the first line. Do y'all have any comments so far? I don't want to steal the show.
Well, it's good to say. I mean, to see this team finally, building upon streak after streak, because you were believing from this team from the start, even if they're, having that bad stretch that they did in the road in the Northeast about a month and a half ago, when they were dropping games against the Rangers and the Islanders and so on. I believe Boston as well. But seeing this team finally build on and actually build upon streak, even though they had a little bit of a slight break right there against Chicago, it's good to see this team finally get a win against Colorado, who they're more than likely going to have to see if they do want to make a Stanley Cup run. So glad to see this team finally, trying to build upon what they're trying to do, because I think Pete DeBoer has his team right where he wants them.
Shout out Pete DeBoer.
Pete DeBoer is doing really good, man. And if he plays Vegas, he's gonna have to play his former team.
Yeah. I know you don't I know you don't miss Rick Bowness right back now. You kind of slandered him last episode or so.
I don't miss him.
Yeah, I could care less about Rick Bowness. I'll tell you that.
Legend.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that
April. I was just saying, I'm excited for April 20th, man. That's really what I'm
April 20th.
My Mighty Ducks on, man. It's ready. I'm time. It's go time.
It's gonna be like. Yeah, they got NHL hockey on 420. That's what I know what he meant.
All right, Courtney. I mean, jeez.
I mean, I don't know what you're.
Let's put this agenda. My parents watch. Let's put this agenda to dirt right now.
Right. All right. So what we are going to do, 214 Sports Show will have a live stream on April 20th. We will be smoking and watching all of the NHL hockey playoff games.
NBA start the same day too, though.
Free to join us.
So we'll have everything. We'll smoke and we'll smoke and watch the games.
Yeah.
It'll be these two gentlemen right here, not me. I'm a suburban boy.
Suburban boy. All right, Kodak. I got one. So one issue with the Stars though recently is that they are letting a lot of goals by. They're efficient with their inefficiency with scoring, with their accuracy, and then also on the other side their defense and letting up goals with not a lot of shots on net. All right, Chicago. What it was like? I tuned on the game when we were down like 3-0, 3-1. We had like 30 shots on net. They had 3 goals and they had 7 shots on net, and that's just unheard of. And it almost happened with Colorado again. It also happened with Buffalo. We gave up a quick goal within the first 3-4 minutes against Colorado. Did the same against Buffalo. Gave them another goal by the end of the first period. Our first periods haven't been the best recently, especially with letting goals in. But I will give credit. They have been picking it up in the second and third period. I tell you what, the Stars have been so good in the third period. We've been saying that throughout the whole season. So, very, very excited about this team. They're the first team. They're the first seed in the West right now. They're only 1 point away from having the President's Cup, a.k.a. most points in the league by the end of the season, only behind the Rangers, which is just insane to think about. I didn't think that the Stars were like a number 1 team in the league. I don't even know if they're going to win the division.
I know they don't have it preseason.
They're close.
From what you're talking
real
about.
Close.
Yeah.
Hey, I know Courtney was always on the Stars Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh,
I know you were.
I said it preseason. I'm gonna pull it back up. I said it. I'm gonna do the screen court.
We lock in playoff time, TJ. We lock in playoff time. That's when I'm really tuning into every single minute of NHL action.
Exactly. Same.
I'll tune in every now and then, but
it gets crazy, time, man. Woo! It does get crazy.
Up there.
NHL hockey is for the playoffs is one of my favorite playoffs of all time for sure. So we're gonna move on to the Rangers. Just to keep for time's sakes. The Rangers are playing the Oakland A's right now in a 3-game series. Let's just. I don't even know what to say, man.
Are we surprised, really? I mean, are we surprised? I mean, that's who he's been. He had his little insanity run in in this past October. But you know what? This dude Jose Leclerc, this should be his last time trying to shut down a one-run game. Should be his last time. I never want to see it again. Please, Bruce Bochy. Please stop. Please stop giving this guy a chance to close the door when it's obviously about to be an end of a game. We already had, David Robinson give up that tying home run in about the 7th inning, which, that was his first run given up all year. So I'm not that mad at him, really. But Kirby Yates pitched an excellent 8th inning. Just have him finish the game. Just have him do it, because Jose is not built for it anymore. I really don't think he's built for closing out, a one-run game. And this is against a mediocre A's team who actually are doing better than I thought they would this year. I really thought they'd be more like the White Sox right now. But, they just got their 4th win last night, courtesy of a Jose Leclerc blown save. And also to this offense, they've kind of been, sputtering in these past 3 games now since they've lost those last 2 in the Houston series to split the series at 2. But this offense had many opportunities also to knock in more runs, and they left a lot on base. So many good starts to innings that just were left scoreless. This team overall, this didn't have a good game last night, I thought, but it was still winnable, which is the crazy thing. That's what good teams do. And when you lose like these games that are still, right in your fingers, and you just lose them right in your grasp, it's heartbreaking. I've been thinking about it, the entire day. Because I was watching it direct, and I said, this dude, Shea Langeliers, he's been, killing us all night. He might as well just win the game. And boom, he does it right there to left center. Another blown save. We've seen it so many times this past year. It wasn't surprising at all.
Hey, this is just a quick question, but this is the same A's team that basically sent their best player down to minor leagues?
Yes. Yeah. Same team. It's Story Ruiz.
What happens to the Rangers I love, man. Like I said last week, this is the start of the season. I'm not really worried, but I just thought the A's were going to be so bad that we wouldn't ever, like you said about Jose Leclerc, can't be our closer no more. It's about time that, I know it was serious when you said in the chat, Jose Leclerc ... That's how I knew he had disappointed the fan base. So, I just, the Sandy run, it's over. It's the same stuff we were talking about, though, at the same time last year when the season didn't just start, but we were going through those struggles in August and everything. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt for sure.
Yeesh.
Yeah, we definitely have had too many conversations about the bullpen. Damn near too many. It is crazy how many times we've had to bring up the bullpen on this podcast about the Rangers and why they're struggling. And again, this is more of a Leclerc issue. I've never understood how he's been our longest tenured player at this point, the longest tenured bullpen player, and he does not have any control. And again, not trying to hate. He was our closer for the World Series run. He did have a Linsanity run, I guess. That Game 5 against Houston was a sort of anomaly because of what happened beforehand. But come on, man! Like you can't. Gotta learn how to locate your pitches, man. Especially if you're a closer. I've never seen a closer have horrible control like Leclerc does. Not to make it seem like it's horrible, but I can't sweeten it anyway. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad how he can't locate his pitches.
He gets it out and then has a 4-0 walk out of nowhere. Yeah. Gets it out and then a 4-0 walk.
Yeah, it could be a 3-0 count, bases loaded, and it'll be against the number 9 hitter on the other team, and he'll still throw it in the dirt. It's just I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. But I guess that opens up discussion. What would y'all want to do about our closer situation right now? Do y'all want to do something like put in somebody else in the bullpen? Do you guys think that the Rangers should make an early move within the season? They made the move with to get Chapman back in June or May maybe.
My dream scenario is that we trade for Devin Williams in Milwaukee, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's my dream scenario. But I hope
he's pretty good.
I hope we can, he's hurt right now, but he'll be back in probably a month. But I
foreshadowing about what we're about to talk.
I hope we can bring up Mark Church. He's a relief pitcher in our system. Wouldn't mind having him either. But for the time being, I would like David Robertson to close games because he's been just amazing so far. He's old, but he's been throwing strikes. What more could you ask for? He throws strikes and he knows how to shut the door. And he had about 20-something saves last year. So if you want to, have a guy who's reliable and can throw strikes and not be wild and has command, for the time being, I would not mind him for ninth innings.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind him either.
Yeah. I think a trade would be in order. I think the trade would be best. Y'all probably know a little bit more about the trade prospects than me, but I mean, it's funny because Leclerc was also our closer, obviously, when we did what we did. So, I mean, it's kind of like it's gonna give him that wiggle room for as long as he pretty much is allowed until Bruce Bochy decides his time. And if I've learned anything about Bruce Bochy ever since I've been following him for this year plus, is I think he's a stubborn old man. So I think they're gonna keep that Leclerc option for a long, long time. I just hope they make a trade though. That's my true scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can make a good. I think they will be aggressive in the deadline again, or throughout the season. I think they will be a little bit aggressive with the trade market. You can never get enough pitchers with high payroll. All right, the Rangers can keep doing it. I believe in them. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I was thinking about it. It's like, man, we can't lose with Uvalde on the mound, especially when you're playing a team like Oakland at home. And that kind of brings me up to my next conversation about like, man, dude, and I know it's gotten a lot of traction. The Angels broadcaster called out the MLB pretty blatantly on live television just a couple days ago. And I know people have been talking about it. I know the Rangers broadcast brought it up last night, but there's a lot of pitchers getting injured right now. Like a lot. There's a lot. Let me pull up the statistic real quick about how there were no more than 300 IL stints, people going to the IL for pitchers in 2015, 2016, or 2017. There are no more than 300. There were over 400 annually between 2021 and 2023. And obviously, a lot of people are talking about it with the pitch clock. How the pitch clock has been implemented and stressing pitchers out, possibly. But a lot of people have been denouncing that and talking about, well, it's a velocity. It's how fast we're teaching these kids how to throw pitches and how quick they're doing it. How we're making 7-year-olds go out there on the mound and pitch with radar guns behind the plate, and stuff like that. They're saying it's a deeply rooted problem for why these pitchers are getting hurt right now. I just want to get what are y'all's opinions about like the pitcher crisis right now?
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, these guys are throwing way too hard now. You look at the pitchers back in the day; they pitched at a fast rate. I mean, they weren't taking their time on the mound back then. Greg Maddux or Randy Johnson. Yeah. I mean, they weren't throwing. Randy Johnson threw hard, but I mean, for Greg Maddux, who was throwing more like 89 to 92 fastballs. I mean, he was pitching at a pretty fast pace, but guess what? He wasn't throwing like 98 mile per hour, 99 mile per hour fastballs with the crazy arm motion on a slider as well. Because I mean, that just wasn't the time to be doing that. So I think that when you're throwing, such hard fastballs these days, plus a pitch clock that's been implemented to make you throw fast at a high frequency, it's getting, pretty bad. I can understand the concern from a lot of these health specialists and all these teams that are losing guys that are dropping like flies. I mean, the Astros have an entire rotation on their IL right now. If you look at who's hurt for them right now, so they're getting hurt more than ever.
It's almost just as rough for the Rangers too.
I do think it's more velocity than to be blamed on pitch clock, in my opinion. But I think that these guys, they're throwing way too hard. You don't have to. Everybody doesn't have to throw 97, 98. I mean, I remember when I was watching Rangers games when I was little, everybody wasn't throwing 95. And Mookie and Mike Trout talked about in a podcast about half a year ago how the game has evolved just in a decade. I mean, when they were in there, only a few select guys were throwing about 99, 100. Now it seems like, a good chunk, maybe half the game is throwing that. So I think it's just velocity based now. The arm isn't built to bend the way you see it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go on the second point of what TJ said. I think it's a lot about these young kids, the pressure on these young kids to throw those fastballs, all those radar guns, and social media, and every other day I see like a 12-year-old throwing a crazy fastball and like he's class like 2032 or something like that. And it's just like when you throw so fast for so long, for that long, some kids are just getting Tommy John surgery early just to get out the way. Like that's just the move now. So it's just like the whole Tommy John thing, the fact that medicine got introduced, it just makes it easier, or it just makes it a lot quicker for them to go through that process than having to struggle and do all the things that the old pitchers have to do. So I just think that they also think they have like a crutch a little bit too. And I think that's also part of the problem. I just think they're just throwing too much.
Yeah, and I think, I do think that it's a little bit about the velocity. And it's actually interesting if you look at the top 10 pitchers in 2023 about the wins above replacement, basically the top 10 pitchers of the year. 6 out of the top 10 didn't crack the league average for velocity. All right, so you had Blake Snell and Jarrett Cole at the top 2, which did break it. But then you had players like Sonny Gray at 3. You had Logan Webb at 5. He had 92.4 miles per hour, 92.9 for Sony, 93.6 miles per hour for Zach Gallen. Number 7 was Jordan Montgomery, who also didn't crack it at 93.3 miles per hour. Clayton Kershaw was 9 at 90.8 miles per hour. Merrill Kelly was 10, 92.3 miles per hour. 3 of those 10 pitchers went on to the World Series. We know how good Merrill Kelly is. He dominated us in Game 2. But you're seeing that this velocity, this whole importance of velocity, isn't even really working at this point. And actually, I do want to argue a little bit, but I do think that also the off-speed pitches are the reason why players are getting hurt too. Because if you look at this, man, so first of all, 60% of pitches used to be fastballs back in let's see, from 2008 to this year. This is Bleacher Report, by the way, Bleacher Report article. Shout out Bleacher Report. Fastballs have gone from accounting for 60.7% of all pitches to just 47.2%. In the span of 16 years, it's gone down 13%. In fact, the Red Sox barely even throw fastballs this season. They have not thrown a lot of fastballs. I'm not joking. I don't know what the stat is, but anyways, yeah. So we have that. I don't even know about y'all, but back in 14, I think it was till 14, we couldn't even throw curveballs. But anyways, there's a lot of people who have been saying that this kind of having to put so much stress on off-speed pitches and having to change that motion constantly with the fastball and all this stuff instead of just throwing straight gas, just going like that all the time. Now they're I forgot what a changeup isn't it that something like that.
3.
Yeah, it's 3.
More
palm
right. based.
And doing that and then switching with the fastball and then going back to the changeup, plus the pitch clock now, and also your fastball's faster than usual. There's a lot of things, man. There's a deeply rooted problem with baseball injuries with pitchers, for sure, I think.
And I do want to clarify, it's starting pitchers, too, because relief pitchers don't have this problem because they're not throwing as frequently as starting pitchers. But it's just a lot of starting pitchers are throwing high velocity, and I'm like, why? You don't have to do all of that. Aroldis Chapman has, survived so long as a relief pitcher, and he's still throwing 100, 101, as you just saw in Pittsburgh last night. So these starting pitchers, man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Mason Miller, who closed the game last night for Oakland, young pitcher, threw about 100, 101 to every single pitch, bro.
He did.
I mean, my God, it's ridiculous.
Spencer Strider and Jacob deGrom are 2 of the top 3 starting pitchers in velocity with their fastballs, both of them. Or at least Jacob deGrom just had a second Tommy John surgery last year. Spencer Strider's looking at possibly having a second Tommy John surgery. He's only 25, too. DeGrom's 36 at this point, but Strider's only 25. That's what's crazy. So, anyways, that's really it. Do y'all have anything else to talk about the pitching crisis?
Pitching crisis. I like that. No,
it's pitching crisis. All right.
Really.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up here. It is about 45 minutes into this podcast. We had some great talks. Y'all wanna shout each other out real quick? Well, shout your own self out.
I was gonna shout out Courtney.
I could say Joe. Yeah, I could say Joe.
You can go ahead and follow.
We can do that.
Courtney's Instagram at C Lives Delife. It looks like Clive's Delife, but it's C Lives Delife on Instagram. He's a good follow there. You can also follow him on Twitter. He's on X as well on C_Machani. You can be on part of the Machaniacs right there. Nice little fan base he has there on Twitter. That's definitely his main Twitter account. He uses it all the time.
Yes, all the time.
You can follow him there on Clive's Life or C_Machani.
Both. I appreciate both. And for the other guy, you could follow him. Both accounts have the same name, Joseph_Duffy99. Biggest Aaron Donald fan of all time. He needs to change it. He's retired. It's time to let go. but he still has a name. I think I appreciate his ability to be a fan. But yeah, I think we can follow Justice_Duffy99 on both socials.
Hey, whenever Dirk retired, I put 41 on my username. Just saying. All right. You can do it too.
I respect it. I respect it.
So, anyways, my Twitter is TJ_Krolowitz. You have my Instagram at TJ.Krolowitz. And then, of course, you can follow the 214 Sports Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at 214 Sports Show for all platforms. We post there all different kind of content, all analytics, everything like that. 214. Look at Joe right there. He's giving you a visual. Yeah, what was all right? Now I'm good. You make it a little too confusing. You just why you putting two ants in there? But anyways, yeah, you can follow us all there. We have additional analysis, additional posts of everything, just our additional thoughts on those social medias. YouTube and Spotify will be on at 9 a.m. every Thursday. You can follow us or subscribe on either of those. Make sure to like, comment, share anything if you like this podcast.
Woo!
Yeah, what he said.
We gotta do this time. We gotta do this time when we go to the game on Saturday. We are covering the game on Saturday.
Yep, forgot to say that. We are going to the game on Saturday.
Meet and greet.
Covering.
Meet and greet.
Southgate. Meet us there.
Southgate. Meet us
there. Southgate at Crawfish Street or whatever it's called.
Crawfish Street.
Outside Minute Maid Park. We'll be there. Get autographs and photos. But until then, we will see y'all. Y'all have a great week. And we'll see you guys next Thursday. Peace out.